So with CG becoming more prevalent in films, why do you think practical stunts, why are they still more exciting, and why do audience get more of a kick out of them?
You know, I think CG works in the right movie. You couldn't imagine a Marvel movie without the CG. And I think it works for that. And I think they've got that's the audience. And I think some of the stuff they create is phenomenal. I think CG works well for Mission Impossible with enhancing a sky or in doing small tweaks to help, and wire removal during action. But what we don't want is the audience to step out of the real action. And you're going on Ethan's journey and you've got this guy that's relentlessly trying to finish a mission, an impossible mission, and that's doing everything he can as a human being. And when I design the action in a Mission Impossible, I always imagine myself doing it. So could I jump that gap? No. I would most likely hit the edge and fall off to my death. So, but I would hit the edge, which means I would make it. So I'm not stretching the truth that much. If I was super able, I might just be able to cling on. If it was too big, I wouldn't do it. We're not doing it there because that goes into the sort of superhuman realm. So we've got to stay true to human character on a mission. Ethan is a human, he's not superhuman. He's just relentless in his approach to stuff because he just wants to complete the mission, wants to save the world, wants to do the right thing. So I think it's very important that a Mission Impossible movie is real action, in-camera action. Otherwise, we'll jump out of the character and we go into this other world that is in our movie.
Makes sense. So Ethan is like a fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy, but yet you're doing very dangerous stunts. How do you devise stunts that are safe, but that look like they're
Out of control.
Spontaneous and out of control?
Yeah, that's just training. You know, it's like you could put Jenny on a motorbike and ask her to ride out of control, and she will make it look out of control, but she will be very much in control. And that's the sort of level we want to get with Tom on a motorbike. The same in a car. You know, I could drive a really boring lap, and then, but very fast. And then I drive a stunty lap, which isn't as fast, but it just looks so dangerous. So then we show Tom that, and Tom's very good at that. You're bringing the action alive with a character. So the car is becoming a character. The bike is becoming a character. Rather than just a piece of machinery that's driving and pointing in the right direction and looking slick. You've got to give them life. And when you give a car or bike or boat or truck or anything life, it just changes the action. And it's normally slower than race speed because obviously we've got to film it. We've got to be able to capture it on camera. The camera's got to keep up. And it's finding that right balance to give the vehicles and give the stuff we do in Mission, give each individual piece of action life through the character. So if you ever jump outside of the car and you're not with Ethan or Benji on their journey, you're still seeing the character portrayed through the movement of the car or bike or whatever the vehicle is. And that's keeping the audience engaged. We're not suddenly jumping to another place.
Yeah, it's funny, sometimes the faster you go, the slower it actually looks.
Totally.
You have to put some dynamic into the bike or the car.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, bringing it to life. That's interesting. I've never thought about that before. That's an interesting piece of insight. So what are some, so Jenny, I'll ask you a question. What are some of the things that you've seen over the years change with practical stunts? Have you seen the industry sort of change?
Just from a point of view of what going to watch a film, because I guess the industry has gone very much kind of green screen, and it is so refreshing to watch something and you know it's completely believable because you know that it's a real stunt, and it's more, you can relate to it more as if you put yourself in that position thinking, oh, I could probably make that and I can do that. So it's good to have a genuine stunt that as an audience you can relate to it and put yourself in the shoes of the person you're watching.
Yeah, it's 100% got to be relatable. We can't relate to being on the moon doing a fight or on another planet. But as an audience, you can relate to driving a car in traffic, driving a car fast or a bike fast, running through a shopping mall, running along a roof maybe. You're just stretching what people have done or see in their everyday environment or their yearly environment. Whereas when you go outside of the real world too much, you've got to make sure you've escaped early on, and that's the journey they're on from the beginning. So with Mission, again, it's trying to keep everything, like with the bathroom fight, for example, the reason how that comes about, like, again, I imagine myself, I know there's going to be a fight in a bathroom because we're in the palace, they're meant to be in the Grand Palais, the music's outside, we're going to go into the restroom, that's where the exchange is meant to happen. So McHugh, Tom and I were right, we're going to have a fight in a bathroom. So then my process is I go to a bunch of bathrooms, a bunch of restrooms. So I go to a restaurant in London, I'm in the restroom, and hotel, I walk into the door just to go and check out their toilets, and I lie on the floor as if I've been knocked out, and I look, and if someone's more unfortunate for someone to come in, I do get strange looks. It does happen. It has happened a lot. But I lie on the floor, like, what can I use? I don't want to use the obvious, smash a guy into a toilet seat. My God, it's been done in 100 movies. Run a guy through the cubicles, that's been done in 100 movies. Smash a guy into a sink, yeah, it's been done. So into a mirror, it's sort of what have I done? So I lie on the floor and I see the P-trap, and I'm like, it's interesting. It's almost like, could be like an axe. It's got a little bit of a hook to it. I could use that as a weapon if it's sharp and broken on one edge. So I started inspecting that and then research different types of P-traps and drains, and aluminum ones and plastic ones, and then I get a couple at work, and I start playing with my fight team, and I could flip you with this, we could stab you with this, and it evolves. But it's evolved from a place of reality, because I was lying on a bathroom floor in a restaurant or a hotel, and I did see that, so that is possible that I could have grabbed it. When I grabbed it, it broke off a little bit sharp on one end. It's all possible. We're just stretching a little bit, but everything's possible, and I think that's what makes the action so real, because it is real. He's just very luckily talented that if he grabs something, he uses it well.
Yeah, it's funny because if I see something too crazy, if it's just so unrealistic,
you switch off.
I'm just like, I'm out.
Yeah, me too.
I'm out. I mean, unless it's that kind of movie, and you're
exactly.
Like, okay, I'm going to go with that on this other world. But then I just check out. So
no, me too.
Like it's almost the same as like losing a fight or almost losing a fight. Then you're way more engaged.
I walk out of more movies than I stay in.
That's funny.
I really do. It annoys the hell out of the people I'm with, because as soon as I'm out. As soon as I've disconnected, I'm out the movie house. I don't care how much they recover, I'm gone. I've disconnected from the character, and I'm hypercritical of the work I do too, and so that's why I'm always thinking about that. I'm like, I really don't want to walk out of this movie myself, out of my own movie, so, and I don't want anyone else to. So it's like, how do we keep them engaged? Obviously, Macquarie and Tom are working strongly on that all the time anyway, but I'm just talking from an action perspective. That's what I'm trying to do all the time.
Now, what kind of stunt would you do? Haven't you done that you would do, that you want to do? Is there something that you want to do in a Mission Impossible movie that you haven't done yet, or something that's kind of?
There's a couple of things brewing, yeah, that possibly will be in the next Mission Impossible.
But you can't tell me what they are.
No.
What about you? Are there any things that you want to do? On a
You can't tell it
either.
No, like some of you've had like the actual bike crashes, or anything where you actually you have to force a crash, just because mentally getting over the self-preservation, I don't want to crash this bike, but you have to on cue at a certain point.
Yeah, it's funny, especially with racers, to get them to do stuff that's out of their realm. Like Jenny took to it very easily, because she, there's certain people in certain mindsets, and with the racing drivers as well, I'm like getting them to like overcook something and crash. They just can't. It's like dink, it's like this, because they train so hard not to crash. And you get the odd racer like Dolby, you get the odd racer that crashes big, and they just that mindset, but generally they're so trained not to crash, that to get them to crash is out of their realm. When we did Rogue Nation, Mission 5, I had all the bike racers when I first met Jenny, and I picked sort of 4 great ones that I could see understood camera and how to move the bike in camera and out of camera. And I had 4 of them out there, and they were great. It was Jenny, Kieran Clark, a couple of them. And they were in front of me, and I said, on cue, I'm going to honk the horn, and you all turn around. So they're all riding with a weapon. Turn around and shoot. Sorry, accelerator here. So they turn around, and they shoot back at the car. So they never shot a gun riding a bike. Obviously, they're riders. So on cue, honk the horn, they all turn around, and they all turn and shoot towards a car. And as they turn around, because they do this, all 4 of them veered off the track onto the grass, like clockwork, like synchronized. All 4 of them veered off the grass, and then you saw them, and then holding it still because they don't want to, fall over on the wet grass. So all 4 like this. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, you just broke the lap record a couple of laps ago. They're so fast, but give them a gun suddenly, and they never out of their comfort zone. So now they've got to learn to turn and counter with the bars, and all those little things are so so funny when you bring people from different realms into the film industry. We're in a very sort of unique space.
Absolutely. So now I'm switching from Vudu to Paramount.
Generic.